Welcome back to the show. You're watching Trending. Now, anyone who's ever been in a romantic relationship knows that it's not always roses. Some of us are better than others at navigating the challenges of maintaining a healthy partnership. Now, every week we're joined by sexologist Dr.L, who is full of insights and advice on matters affecting couples both in and out of the bedroom. Limor joins me now in the studio. Limor, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Now, I don't know any couple that doesn't fight from time to time.
No,
it's not
that would
always
be really terrible.
Right, it's not always fun. But you're saying it's actually a good thing.
Yes, it's beneficial. And then they went and actually examined it in a study. We have two studies today. One of them actually took more than 700 couples and asked them, how often do you fight? Do you feel it's beneficial for your relationship? How do you reconcile? Questions of that sort.
Sure.
And they had to fill up a questionnaire.
I'm very interested. What did they find out?
And it was very interesting because they found out that actually couples that are happier in their relationship, that are satisfied, that have a good communication, came out of it much better than they were before.
Okay.
Because big fights and big conflicts came out of this situation with big resolutions.
Right, it actually brings people closer together.
Yes, but even on a larger scale, I'm just going to say that couples that weren't getting along so well didn't benefit from it.
Right.
They actually didn't know how to resolve it, and they stayed in this situation, in this fight, in this quarrel. They didn't know how to get out of it.
So what kind of tools can we learn to allow us to have healthy fighting that it actually brings a couple closer together?
I'm going to get to it, but I want to incite you with some other things that they found, because it was very interesting to find who's actually creating these fights, who on both genders.
Right, and often people do, you started it.
Yes, and people always are accusative in that regard. So they actually went and examined how people react, both genders, in a situation where they have opponents, like in tennis or boxing, sports that involves a dyad, two people. And they found that males are much more compassionate in affiliative behavior to their partners. They're more touchy after a fight, they're more consoling, and they found that it's actually something that is evolutionarily related, because they call it male warrior hypothesis.
Sure.
That men had to be close to the people that they fight with, just to reconcile and to find a solution that was suitable for the entire tribe.
Absolutely.
So to speak. So actually the ones that are creating this are more women, and they found that 70% of non-reciprocal aggression is actually caused by women.
Wow.
Which is very devastating.
Now, Limor, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut you off in the middle of that sentence. I'm sure you're aware we have some breaking news that has just come in from Boston. We're hearing reports that there have been at least 2 explosions at the St. Petersburg subway station in Boston. We're hearing reports of at least 10 casualties. Ambulances are currently rushing to the scene, and we do have a video from that scene right now. Let's take a look. Now, we can see from those pictures that the subway station looks full of smoke. We can't absolutely see that people seem to be panicked. We do know that ambulances have rushed to the scene. We're hearing at least 10 casualties. Now, this is in Boston, inside the St. Petersburg in Russia, at the St. Petersburg subway station. And we will keep you up to date as more information comes to hand. Of course, this is breaking news. It is a developing story, and we will keep you posted the minute that information comes into our studio. Now, I just want to quickly return to our guest in the studio. We are joined by sexologist Dr.L. I'm so sorry we have to interrupt this segment as this information comes to hand. Absolutely. I mean, it's not quite the same, but let's continue to talk about how couples navigate the world of fighting and how it perhaps can bring them back together.
So I think that the best advice would be to pay attention and to manage your anger and your responses, because we have to take responsibility. If we fall into accusations, that's a very bad way to manage it. And unfortunately, most of us do this. We fall into these accusations. That's your fault. You started it, and we grow apart, and it's difficult. Open a discussion and analyzing the dynamics. All these things are much healthier and much more practical. And practice relaxation techniques I think is very helpful to everything in a relationship, and especially in terms of a fight, and just, you know, love each other.
Absolutely. So
best
talk
advice.
us through some healthy tips, things we can take away from this.
Yeah, these are the things that I just said, that we actually need to be attentive to one another, work on these dynamics, not accuse one another, be attentive, be loving, be compassionate, because sometimes we really, we don't give the attention and the compassion that we give other people just randomly. We don't give that to our partners.
And how can we tell if the fighting is healthy? What is the fine line there that we're having to navigate?
It's a very good question, because if we fall into aggression and yelling and screaming, cursing, using bad words, using bad terms, belittling each other, it's a very bad, it will have a very bad result. So try to avoid this, even if you're fuming. Just, you know, people say count to 10, do this. Even though, you know, not necessarily always helpful, but try to do this and try to manage around it, because there is something that will stay with you. Things are not forgotten, and you have to keep in mind that this has results.
Absolutely. Limor Bluffman, thank you so much for being with us in studio. We turn really quickly now to a breaking news story that is coming out of Russia. We're hearing that there have been at least 10 casualties after at least 2 explosions inside the St. Petersburg subway station. We are taking a short break. You're looking at live images coming out of that train station now. We will bring you the latest information after this break.